Yo, YouTube is Anarchies of Darkness, also known as Sir Killaton of College Drug. And I want to give you these tips for breakup management. Last night, a close friend of mine was dealing with a breakup, and I went over there to console him, and surprisingly, I felt like I had a lot of good relationship or breakup management advice. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to name some tips. Y'all going to take it easy on me. I ain't no expert. I'm just, like everything else, learning from experience. 1, space. Tip number 1 is space. You and that person need space. Give that person space. Don't text them. Don't be like, hey, look at this meme, and try to start up a conversation. You, whether you broke up with them or whether they broke up with you, or whether it was mutual, give that person space. I'm not saying don't ghost them out of spite. I'm saying, hey, it's very clear this happened for a reason, so space is needed. Put distance between you and them. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. You know, don't force it, because if you try to force it, nothing good will come of it. 2, self-care. You're going to have a whole lot of time. Now, no more boo loving time. So it's time to go do things that fill up that time and space with stuff you like to do. It can be photography, it can be drawing, it could be just watching the Real Housewives of Atlanta. It could be binge watching stuff. Go do stuff that you like to do. Take a trip, travel, distance yourself. It almost adds to tip number 1. So tip number 2 is to do things you like to do. Oh, that's gonna be an accident. Woo! This close. Guy in front of me with the BMW almost just smacked this guy. Anyway, yeah, that's tip number 2. You got a lot of time on your hands. Use that time to not contact them, to not bug them, to not say anything to them, okay? Take care of yourself. Take care of your mind. Tip number 3, do not console in substances. Because if you like to drink, it's that space for number 2, for tip 2, you're going to use all that time to drink, smoke, or whatever it is you do, and be inebriated. You're not going to have enough time to actually manage their breakup. And when I mean breakup, I'm talking about people who broke up with someone who they've known them for a very long time, and they have that pit in their stomach. That means, at least for me, what I assume that means is that you are definitely in love with that person. You definitely care about that person. You definitely want that person in your life. But for whatever reason, y'all broke up and y'all need space. So again, number 3, I'm sorry. Do not console in substances. If you console a substance, you can very easily start depending on that substance and become an addict of said substance. I've seen it happen. Guys, don't let that shit happen. Okay? Number 4, don't be driven into somebody else's arms. Don't be driven into somebody else's arms. Because if you do that, you want to fuck around and get your feelings hurt twice. And it's going to feel twice as bad. It probably not feel as bad as the first one. But you're going to make a bad mistake trying to fill that void with someone else. And that someone else is not right for you. And you overlooking all the red flags. Don't do that. I did it. I regret every second of it. Do not do that. That's number 4. Don't be driven into somebody else's arms. Number 5, I'm going to go ahead and close this out with closure. This is optional. If that person wants to talk to you and have a real conversation, have that conversation. It could be getting back together if you did number 1 and 2 correctly. Or it could be, look, I've had time to think on this and it's time for me to move on. Let closure be closure. It's gonna hurt. If it's closure, it's gonna hurt. So get your closure, and hopefully it's not as bad. It don't feel as terrible. But again, that's optional. Guys, what was it? Number 1 was space. Number 2 is time. Essentially, use your time well. Go do stuff. Number 3, no substances. Number 4, no new girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, no new relationships. And 5 is optional, and that's closure. These are tips for breakup management, okay? I hope I help somebody. This is the reason why I do these videos, whether it's racism, colorism, or now relationship tips. All right, guys, time for me to get out and go to work. Y'all have a good one.